Good evening, viewers. You're watching Chidupli News Recap. I'm your anchor, Azan Jamir, bringing to you the top stories of the week. Let's have a look at the stories that made it to the headlines. Campaigning for the 28th Koridang Assembly constituency by-election will end at 4 p.m. on April 7, after which a mandatory 48-hour silence period will come into force, the Kamjong district administration said. Infuriated by the Hongbai incident of March 28, in which 4 cadres of the Naga Army eastern flank were killed in an alleged ambush by an army unit of NSC and IM, large mobs vandalized houses of several top NSC and IM leaders in Ukhrul. In view of the upcoming assembly elections scheduled for April 9, the Assam government has announced a series of dry days across the state to ensure free, fair and peaceful polling. At least 8 people were killed in Kabul after an earthquake of magnitude 5.9 rattled parts of northern Afghanistan and western Pakistan. And now the news in details. Campaigning for the 28th Koridang Assembly constituency by-election will end at 4 p.m. on April 7, after which a mandatory 48-hour silence period will come into force, the Kamjong district administration said. In an order issued under Section 126 of the Representation of the People Act 1951, Deputy Commissioner and District Magistrate Ajit Kumar Verma said all forms of public campaigning will be prohibited during the final 48 hours leading up to the polling. The order bans public meetings, rallies and processions after the deadline and prohibits the display of election-related material through electronic media, including television and similar devices. It also bars any form of campaign-related activity through entertainment such as musical concerts or theatrical performances intended to influence voters. The administration further directed that all political functionaries, party workers and other individuals brought in from outside the constituency who are not registered voters of 28th Koridang must leave the area immediately after campaigning ends. It also stated that continued presence of such person could affect the conduct of a free and fair election. All stakeholders have been instructed to comply strictly with the guidelines, with violations attracting punishment of up to 2 years imprisonment, a fine or both. Officials, including the returning officer, assistant returning officers, magistrates, police and security personnel have been tasked with enforcing the restrictions and ensuring that non-electors exit the constituency after the close of the campaign. Nipotise Solo of the Naga People's Front was on March 30 elected as the chairperson of the Kohima Municipal Council, while Tinoso Sekose was chosen as his deputy. The election saw participation from all 19 councillors, with 16 voting in favor of Solo and Sekose. 3 councillors had sought leave of absence on health grounds. The post had remained vacant since February following the resignation of former chairperson Nekozo Sokre and deputy chairperson Devo, leaders both affiliated with the NPF. Speaking after his election, Solo thanked the party leadership and assured efforts towards the overall development of the town. Deputy Chairperson Sekose acknowledged internal challenges within the council, describing them as part of democratic functioning, and said the body would now move forward with unity. He also pointed to financial strain on the municipal body, attributing it largely to the ban on toll or gate collections, which had previously been a key revenue source. Sekose noted that limited revenue generation avenues and inadequate funds have impacted the council's sustainability, stressing the need for additional financial support and improved revenue strategies. Infuriated by the Hongbai incident of March 28, in which 4 cadres of the Naga Army eastern flank were killed in an alleged ambush by an army unit of NSC and IM, large mobs vandalized houses of several top NSC and IM leaders in Ukhrul. Large mobs scattered on March 31st and stormed the houses of some top NSC and IM leaders till late evening. On the other hand, a total shutdown was imposed at Kamjong district headquarters on April 1st in protest against the killing of the 4 cadres of Naga Army eastern flank. The total shutdown was called by the Kamjong Students' Union. A similar shutdown was imposed at Ukhrul district headquarters. Earlier, several Tangkul civil society organizations served A 12-hour ultimatum to the NSC and IM to produce the 2 Naga army cadres who were involved in the shooting at Hongbai village, Kamjong district, which led to the deaths of the 4 cadres of the Naga army eastern flank. Civil society organizations had identified 2 persons allegedly involved in the Hongbai killing and thus demanded NSC and IM to produce the 2 persons at the office of the Tangkul Nagalong by 2 p.m. of March 30. Even though NSC and IM leadership did not meet the CSO's ultimatum, they constituted a 6-member inquiry commission to probe the incident. Infuriated by the killing and not satisfied with the response of the NSC and IM leadership, large mobs vandalized the houses of many top leaders of the rebel group on March 31st. In view of the upcoming assembly elections scheduled for April 9, the Assam government has announced a series of try days across the state to ensure free, fair and peaceful polling. According to official directives, all liquor shops, bars and licensed establishments selling alcoholic beverages will remain closed for 3 days leading up to the polling date. The try period will begin on April 7 and continue through April 9, coinciding with the campaign silence period and polling day. Authorities stated that the decision has been taken in line with Election Commission guidelines, which mandate restrictions on the sale and distribution of liquor during elections to prevent undue influence on voters and maintain law and order. Additionally, the administration has imposed a strict ban on the distribution and transportation of liquor during this period. Enforcement agencies, including excise officials and district police, have been directed to intensify surveillance and carry out regular checks to curb the illegal sale or movement of alcohol. Officials further confirmed that on April 7, liquor outlets will be required to shut operations by 5 p.m., marking the beginning of the try period. The restrictions will remain in force until polling is completed on April 9. The move comes amid heightened political activity across Assam, with major parties intensifying their campaigns ahead of the crucial electoral contest. Meanwhile, security arrangements have been significantly tightened across sensitive constituencies. With preparations in full swing, Assam gears up for a decisive phase in its democratic process as voters head to the polls on April 9 under strict regulatory oversight. The counting of votes for the 126-member assembly will take place on May 4. At least 8 people were killed in Kabul after an earthquake of magnitude 5.9 rattled parts of northern Afghanistan and western Pakistan. The quake was centered in the Hindu Kush mountain range about 150 kilometers east of the Afghan city of Kunduz and was felt across Afghanistan and in parts of Pakistan and India. The quake was at a depth of 177 kilometers. 8 members of a family were killed and a child was injured when a house collapsed. On the outskirts of Kabul, Hafizullah Basharat, a spokesperson for the Kabul governor, said authorities said that a solid assessment of damage could potentially be delayed because of the remoteness of the epicenter of the earthquake. In India, Delhi, Punjab, Haryana, Jammu and Kashmir and Kargil also experienced the tremors. Afghanistan is prone to deadly earthquakes. Last August, a 6.0 magnitude earthquake in Afghanistan's mountainous Kunar province killed more than 2,200 people and injured thousands more. In October 2023, a 6.3 magnitude quake near Herat city in western Afghanistan killed thousands of people. A Russian An-26 military transport plane crashed into a cliff in Crimea, killing 29 people on board. The crash site was located in Crimea, a peninsula jutting into the Black Sea annexed by Russia from Ukraine in 2014. The ministry said 23 passengers and 6 crew members had been killed. The An-26 aircraft, with which communication was lost earlier, crashed into a cliff. News agencies said, according to an initial assessment, technical problems were believed to have caused the crash. Russia's defense ministry did not respond immediately to a request for comment. The An-26 has been in service since the late 1960s and has also been used by airlines to carry freight, but the model has been involved in a number of deadly crashes over the last decade. A Ukrainian AN-26 crashed during a technical flight in Ukraine's southeastern region in 2022, killing one person. Another aircraft crashed on a training flight in northeastern Ukraine in 2020, killing all but one of 27 on board. 8 people, including 5 Russians, were killed when an AN-26 crashed in South Sudan in 2020. 4 of 10 people on board were killed when an AN-26 crashed on landing in Cote d'Ivoire in West Africa in 2027. Well, viewers, that's it for this week's news recap. And for more news like this, you stay connected to Global Window. Good night.